Game of Thrones is an HBO television series based on the A Song of Ice and Fire books by George R.R. Martin. The show is set in a medieval fantasy world spanning 2 continents and hundreds of locations. The continent in the east is known as Essos, while the continent in the west is known as Westeros. The massive cast of characters are from all different families, each fighting to sit upon the Iron Throne of Westeros. However, in addition to the politics, intrigue, dueling, and war, this world is populated by strange and dark magic. Warlocks collude in the shadows, supernatural assassins take on other people's faces, and dragons are awakened by ancient bloodlines. As a result, there are a multitude of religions, each with their own explanations for these phenomena. This video will be focusing on 2 of these religions.
Roller, also known as the Lord of Light or the Red God, is a monotheistic being worshipped primarily in Essos, but his following grows in Westeros as well. His followers have also been known to burn people of other religions at the stake, and red priests are seen conducting miracles like lighting swords on fire and reviving people from the dead.
Lord, cast your light upon this man, your servant. Bring him back from death and darkness. His flame has been extinguished.
In the north of Westeros, the people worship the Old Gods, an ambitious set of unnamed deities. The Old Gods are believed to see through faces carved into a particular kind of tree, and they apparently bless certain northerners with the ability to mind control animals or project their minds into the past.
Further in the north than even the Old Gods is a gigantic wall of ice. The wall is 700 feet tall and miles long, separating the domain of the Iron Throne from the bleak, frozen territory of the wildlings. Wildlings are an entire group of tribes using primitive weapons and engaging in savage violence. However, wildlings are not the only thing north of the wall. At the start of the series, stories are still told of a time, many thousands of years ago, when demonic creatures called White Walkers attacked and caused a never-ending winter.
Fear is for the long night, when the sun hides for years, and children are born and live and die, all in darkness. That is the time for fear, my little lord, when the White Walkers move through the woods.
According to the tales, they turned the corpses of their enemies into zombies to fight for them. These stories describe a prophetic savior called the Last Hero, who forged a mythical sword and fought the White Walkers back, ending the eternal winter. However, in this world, most people write these tales off as fables and fully reject the existence of White Walkers.
The Night's Watch protects the realm.
Yes. Against grumpkins and snarks and all the other monsters your wetness warned you about. You're a smart boy. You don't believe that nonsense.
Only the most dedicated of fanatics take these stories literally.
For the night is dark and full of terror.
Simultaneously, in the far east of Essos, especially among believers in Roller, tales are told of a hero from the past known as Azor Ahai. Azor Ahai is said to have delivered the world from an age of darkness, using a flaming sword known as Lightbringer. Details of this age of darkness are sparse, but from what we can gather, it sounds incredibly similar to the story of the Last Hero. In 2 opposite ends of the planet, the same story was told independently. This raises the question about how this story originated and where this myth actually came from. As the plot progresses, it is revealed that those stories of White Walkers are not only real, but they are alive now and gathering to attack again. Wildlings are forced to reconcile and work together in order to escape north, while the soldiers on the wall try to hold it as the last defense for all of Westeros below.
In our real world, myths spread, and components of mythology are borrowed across cultures. Just like in Game of Thrones, common themes and stories are found seemingly of unrelated origin. For instance, the widely known biblical story of Noah's Ark and the Abrahamic flood has very much in common with the Sumerian flood story. Both tell of a massive weather event that flooded the entire earth. though in each story the world is flooded for a different amount of time. The stories also have great arcs, or ships, constructed to survive the flood. In both stories, it is God who orders the construction of these arcs.
Just like in Game of Thrones, these common traits of two separate mythologies turned out to be based on the same real event. Researchers have been able to find evidence of a real-world period of flooding, which people across different regions and cultures wrote about, giving us these flood myths. This shows the real-world inspiration and careful considerations that author George R.R. Martin took when creating the religions and histories of his world. Understanding this dynamic causality between shared experiences and common themes of mythology can give us a greater understanding of humans throughout history. It can provide the correct contexts for their lives and even clue us in as to which of their stories are based on actual events.